as far as creating a coalition and how we must come to the table of this coalition in a manner that's neutral, where we don't pay attention to the ideology so much as it is to understand the value of going forward now and creating a political coalition. Now, this coalition will be made up of what I consider to be these very distinct and unique entities that make up any community. And those entities, if you take an opportunity to study them, like the Chicano ideology is tough. It's tough to bring them to heel in the sense that they're going to accept Latinismo or, Mexican American or whatever. They don't. That's just not their ideology. And so understanding that, I then choose to back off. I back off of my war against the Latino community, and that's critical here because it's taken me a while, but as I went down this road. Hello, Rumi, Richard Ellison, how are you? As I went down this road to try to take on the various entities which I felt were exploiting a lot of our people. And I don't think they were doing it on purpose. They just fell into this Latinismo and took off from there. It was nothing but Latino, which is okay, but it doesn't allow for you to be a true advocate, a true leader, and it doesn't foster political advocacy, purely political. But that's where it counts in the end. Everything that's happening to our community, be it the death of children in these concentration camps, the fact that they're in concentration camps and that nobody knows what's going on, that issue needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed by a coalition of people to confront the establishment and say, this is not acceptable. The killing or the dying of young people in cells is not acceptable. The disenfranchisement of workers here in Omaha, because they're necessary for the economy, which I understand. We need cheap labor for the economy, and we got it in the tune of 100,000. But to keep them in the shadows is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But how do you, so you say it's unacceptable. You get all these Facebook postings about all these ugly things that are happening to these individuals and ourselves. But what do we do about it? See, we don't do anything because we're caught up in this limbo and the lack of solid political power. And the political power is in coalition that will deliver votes that will create a machine that's designed to set up a political entity where individuals from our own community will go and confront the establishment. Those entities that are exploiting our people. And we need to be at the table when these discussions are being held. But if we don't have any power, if we don't have a coalition behind us, there's no value. And we can't get there, and we're not there. We can't get there. Right now, there is not one leader in this community, or, I would even extend clear out to the United States, that's going to put it on the line and say, we want change. And if we don't get the change, we're not going to, invest our money, invest our political power on your behalf. But right now we have nothing. We have nothing. We have no money. We have no political power. We have no political votes that we can count on. We have no coalition. Now that's going to be tough to do. And as I went down this path of saying, I need to deal with the Latino component of the movement, and where it left Chicanos in the cold, really. In an attempt to get our power back, we're trying to deliver some kind of, or I should just say me, trying to create some kind of a vehicle, some kind of a structure, so we can all come together. And that's tough. I say that's tough because these entities are I'm not sure that I would say that they can't get along, but I'm saying whether or not they can get along has never been tested. The idea of a coalition is good, but you're going to have to go through a lot of layers of people in order to get there. Now that's where my forum comes in. And I seen a conflict. I seen a conflict in my war, and wanting to create a peaceful forum to come together to see if we can even do it. You understand what I'm saying? We don't even know. Hello, Rach. How you doing, babe? We don't even know if it can be done. But if we don't try, if we don't see the value in coalition, then my efforts are like specious. They're no good. They're not. It's like it's too late. We're going to forever be minorities, even though we're going to be majorities. But in any event, even as a minority, if you can't deliver the vote, if you can't create a structure, a political structure that's designed to take on the establishment, where policy is made regarding our community, or the fact that there's a policy that's not enforced. We can't allow that status quo to exist. Now, when I use the example that we have 100,000 people who would fall under the diaspora, or these people that come up from Mexico because they're needed to work in these different construction industries, the different packing house industries, support, like cleaners, working in hotels and what have you. That's a necessary part of our economy. I understand that. But you can't have both. You cannot be allowing these people to remain disenfranchised. And the only way that you can combat that is by having a group of powerful individuals that can deliver votes. It's as simple as that, folks. You get a group, 10, 20, that's where it starts. To come together to understand the value of coalition, and they do it through this process of a moderated environment where it's not going to be hollering and stuff. And that's what my forum does. My forum, designed to bring these different people together under a very controlled environment, because you have to do that in order to have a clear understanding and begin to dialogue about how there's value in putting aside our political differences, our ideological differences, for the good of all. That's a heavy road to go. That's what I'm saying. And I need your help. Not too many people are jumping at this, but I got a few people that are engaged, and I think that's all it's going to take to start. But I need your help in terms of advocating and saying, yeah, let's do this, And I'm saying it has to be and should be a statewide effort, but because the majority of the people are here in Omaha, here's where we're going to start the forum. This forum. And we have a venue. We have a moderator. We're going to have, I already have a outline that I put out. I'm going to have a more detailed outline as to the process and what we hope to accomplish and how we do it. Now, this won't be one meeting and done. It won't be. You understand that to create a viable organization is going to take a lot of meetings. So a lot of people who think they're going to come to this forum and participate and it's over, no, the idea is not to be over. The idea is to participate and to agree to come to another meeting that is designed to provide further information on value and leadership skills. Because in the end, we will have very professional people, especially our young millennials can be extremely, well, to me, they're going to be the leaders, the spokespersons, the Roger Garcias. And by the way, I'm supporting Roger Garcia for county commissioner. He's a great, great guy. He's got all of the prerequisites, and he's got a tough road to hoe here, tough road to hoe against this family, the Boyle family. And it's not just the Boyles, it's a huge political family. And they, over the years, they've developed this where they're powerful because they have a lot of people have supported them. And they're tough to beat. Any family, any political family, and we, especially on the south side here, where we have a lot of Catholics and Italians and Mexicans, these individuals have all generated a solid base of operation for these families. But just like anything else, it's time to move on. It's time to get our leadership in there, like Roger, and to prove that he can govern. And he'll govern better than the guy that's there now. Mike Boyle is a fossil. He's a fossil. He's an old guy that should retire. But I don't know why he doesn't retire, but he should retire. And maybe we're going to retire him. I don't know. But Roger will never have, he can't compete on the same level unless he has a real tight organization behind him. And of course, that primary is going to be in about 3 or 4 months. But if he gets through, that's it. But it's going to take that long to meld his organization with what we're trying to do. Now, it's all convincing. It's all convincing. In other words, I have to, out of thin air, out of nothing, convince you that there's value in a political coalition. And because there's a lack of leadership, which is not designed, to be a lack of leadership, but it's the reality that hits us. And so now we must come and put all our differences aside. I mean, if we can. If we can't, we can. If there's going to be a shootout, there's going to be a shootout, but under controlled circumstances. Now, you can take shots at me when we hold this forum, or even as I hold these individual meetings. If you want to take me to task in my ideology, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I think that I'm strong enough and believe in my ideology that I can defend my ideology of Chicanismo and hopefully make you understand that I'm not against you personally, that I'm against a system that's come out of this Latinization. And we'll talk about the monolith and stuff later on. It's something that you have to repeat over and over and over. But for sure, this thing starts with armistice. That I'm calling off my war. I don't know if we can go sign some peace papers, but I'm calling off my war. So you don't have to worry. The Latino Center of the Midlands